Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is part 12 of my One Piece overview series. Today I'm going to be going over Amazon Lily and Impel Down. I know I say this all the time, but I do think this one's going to be a shorter video because, to be honest, not a lot goes on in Amazon Lily, and it's not my favorite arc, so I'll only talk about a couple things in this arc. And then Impel Down wasn't really my favorite either. So we're going to go over 53, 54, 55, and 56. And as always, question of the day, kind of piggybacking off of the question from last video. Who is your favorite Straw Hat? And for me, that is a really tough question because I sort of like all of them equally. I can't really pick a favorite, but it definitely has to be between Zoro and Sanji. Well, obviously between the Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. But definitely after Whole Cake Island, I think Sanji has to be my favorite Straw Hat. So yeah, question of the day, who is your favorite Straw Hat? So as always, let's go ahead and take a look at the volume covers. So this one is labeled as Sabaody, but most of it is Amazon Lily. So that's volume 53. And then these next three are labeled as Impel Down. This is volume 54. This is volume 55. And volume 56, which I think maybe starts off Marineford looking at the cover. But let me go ahead and take a look at it really quick. A little more than half of it is Impel Down. And then Luffy and his crew, they show up to Marineford to save Ace. So yeah, I'm not sure why Luffy is an Impel Down. I think he's trying to gather. Oh no, Impel Down is where they're holding Ace. So he goes to Impel Down to save Ace. That was his his original idea. And then he finds out that he was too late and he was already at Marineford by the time he got there. So let's go ahead and take a look at Amazon Lily. Amazon Lily picks up right after Sabaody. And Amazon Lily is the island that Kuma sent Luffy. So Kuma sent all the Straw Hats to different islands, and this is the one that Luffy was sent to. And first off, it really shows how dependent he is on his crew, because he's hungry and he calls for Sanji, and he's hurt and then he calls for Chopper and they're not there, and he doesn't know where to go because Nami's not there. He doesn't have any navigation skills, not as bad as Zoro, but almost no navigation skills. So just by pure chance, he shows up to an island full of women. So yeah, I thought Amazon Lily was pretty fun, but it wasn't my favorite. I did start to kind of warm up to it a little. Oh, and look at this cover page. This is really cool. I like it when One Piece does these kinds of things, when they do callbacks to Romance Dawn, or the pre-time skip. And you can totally see the art progression. If you go back to like volume 3 or 4 and go to here, it's really impressive art progression. So, and then there's the first appearance of Boa Hancock. I'm kind of neutral about Hancock. She's okay. She's an okay character. But yeah, I don't really want to. There's not a lot to talk about here. I think Luffy shows off his conquers Haki again. And then Hancock starts showing feelings for Luffy, which I think was really funny. That Hancock is like the most beautiful woman in the entire world, and she develops a crush on Luffy. It's so funny, and he's just completely oblivious because like he has no interest in women, which is funny. And then I do like that they tell us that Hancock and her sisters had connections to the Celestial Dragons. So I do like that about her character. That it's a bridge between Luffy and the government. And then Luffy finds out that that Ace is imprisoned by his Viver card. It's burning up. And then, yeah, Hancock has a crush on Luffy. So, Amazon Lily, it was okay. It was a good starting off point, I guess. But, yeah. Well, let me know what you guys think about Amazon Lily. Do you like it? Do you think it's underrated? Or whatever. So then, Hancock helps Luffy get to Impel Down to save Ace. And there he is. Sorry about the sniffles. But yeah, and then they just show where the other Straw Hats are. And Zoro is at Mihawk's Island. And I thought this was really cool. They're showing like a meeting between the warlords. And Impel Down is underwater. It's like the most it's like the tightest jail in One Piece, and it holds some of the most dangerous criminals in this world. And I really like the return of Buggy. I like the return of all these characters in this arc. Buggy and Luffy play off of each other really well. And then the return of Mr. 3. And then I think this is Magellan. Magellan is a really cool character. This chapter was named after Jinbei, I think. So he might show up in this one. Oh yeah, there he is. Like the first appearance of Jinbei. Super cool character. And Jinbei had a lot of setup because he was mentioned all the way back in Arlong Park. So it's really cool to finally see this character. Definitely for people who were reading One Piece as it was running back then. So then they give some backstory on Whitebeard and his connection between Ace. And then there's Crocodile. Super cool. I love Crocodile, by the way. He's my favorite warlord. So I was so excited to see him back in the story. Oh, and Bon Clay too. I love the return of these characters. So yeah, that was all, and then Magellan showing off his devil fruit. It's super cool devil fruit, by the way. Super overpowered too. Just that it gives him chronic diarrhea, which is hilarious. Definitely in One Piece fashion. And I didn't really like Bon Clay at the beginning. But this arc really made me like him a lot. I really like Bon Clay. There's a really cool spread of the warlords. So yeah, that was volume 54. Starting off Impel Down. And we'll go on to volume 55. So, to me personally, I don't think a lot really happens in Impel Down. Just like, the only notable thing that I could name up the top of my head is, the confrontation between Luffy and Blackbeard. But we'll get to that right now. I thought that was really interesting. Because, I think at this point, Luffy knows who Blackbeard is, but he didn't know who he was, right? He didn't know it at that point, but he'd already met Blackbeard, which was crazy. And Magellan, or Luffy's fight against Magellan was so good. It was such a cool fight. And it's crazy because this is like the only fight that Luffy actually lost. And it's crazy because this fight shortened his lifespan by a lot. And Gear Second already does that on its own. So Luffy's really risking his life to save his brother. And there's a cool character moment for Bon Clay. I like that Luffy and Bon Clay are friends. And then I think they, yeah. This might offend some people, but I don't really like Ivankov, especially in the beginning when he was first introduced. I feel like he's too weird, especially for One Piece. I don't know. I don't really like him all that much. I warmed up to him a little bit, but I probably skipped like every scene that he was in because I just could not stand him. But hopefully I'll be able to read One Piece and get like a refresher on this series. But yeah, Ivankov gives Luffy like a hormone or something like that to get him back in action. And then he's informed that Luffy's dad is Dragon. So yeah, here they find out that Ace has already been taken to Marineford. Oh, and Crocodile finally shows up. I love that scene in the anime. That one episode at the end, Hisashi Buridana Mugiwara. That was my best impression with it. That's so cool. I love that scene a lot because Crocodile is my favorite warlord. And then Luffy finally gets his gang together. Jinbei, Crocodile, Inazuma, and Ivankov, and the other goofballs. And I like that implication that Jinbei isn't exactly like a good guy, you know? He's only helping Luffy because he's Ace's brother and he has respect, like enormous respect for Ace. So, if it was anybody else, I don't think Jinbei would have helped. Or he probably, I don't know what he would have done. But yeah, it would have turned out very different. And it's a good example of fate in One Piece. And the inherited will. I know that's a big thing about One Piece. So that's volume 55. We're speeding through this a little bit. That's just my favorite moments. Oh, and then Blackbeard's showing up to Impel Down. And Shiryu of the Rain, head jailer, which is crazy because Shiryu turns out to be part of Blackbeard's crew. And I didn't really get that part. I don't know if he was undercover as the jailer in Impel Down. But yeah, this is a really interesting confrontation between Luffy and Blackbeard. I think I skipped it, but it's a really iconic panel. It might be somewhere around here, I'm not sure. Right here. He finds out that this is Blackbeard. They already met, you know? And it was at this point that I realized that Blackbeard was gonna be the main antagonist of this series. Because back then, during Jai, I was like, oh, okay, he's probably gonna show up sometime soon, right? And this is when I realized, I was like, oh, he's the big bad of this series, huh? And it's crazy because all of this has been set up over hundreds of chapters, and even now too. So yeah, Magellan just completely devastates Blackbeard, because Blackbeard does have a Logia type, but it's like a special type of Logia. It doesn't like he's not made of the darkness or something like that. It's not a typical Logia like how Ace is made of fire and attacks can go just straight through him. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that for Blackbeard, which is interesting. Because he can nullify devil fruit powers, I think. I don't know, there's just so much mystery behind Blackbeard. It's insane. And then, of course, Bon Clay sacrifices himself for Straw Hat. For Luffy and the others. So yeah, that was Impel Down. Yeah, there's Bon Clay's sacrifice. And he does survive, I think. They reveal that in the cover story. So yeah, they recruit a bunch of like level 6 criminals from Impel Down, Blackbeard and his crew. So yeah. And they're heading to Marineford. That was Impel Down. Definitely a shorter video than usual. But I just wanted to go over my favorite moments in Impel Down. So next video, I'll probably just do 2 volumes on Marineford, because Marineford is huge and there's so much to talk about in Marineford. So yeah, question of the day, who is your favorite Straw Hat? For me, it definitely has to be Sanji. Super cool character. Especially after Whole Cake Island. I'm very excited to get to Marineford because it's not my favorite arc. I think my favorite arc belongs to Alabasta, but Marineford is definitely up there. It's a really good arc. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one for part 13. Peace.